So DeMar DeRozan continued his fantastic season last night against the Knicks with 31 points. And he went 2 for 2 from outside, which I think is the most striking difference between him this year and most of his career, as he's currently shooting about 36% on almost 3 threes a game. But it is still the DeRozan we know, as he killed the Knicks from the mid-range last night. Like here, where Derrick Jones Jr. is going to bear hug Alec Burks, and Julius Randle is going to be dropping, and that's way too easy for DeRozan. Now, I don't know if the stats can show this, but the eye test to me is that DeRozan is just a lot more decisive now than he was years ago. I mean, you remember when he used to do the pump fake 12 times and then pass it off to somebody and waste a bunch of time on the shot clock? It just feels like that's not really happening with the Bulls this year. The other thing DeMar's doing is he's been amazing at drawing fouls. He's at like 8 free throws a game right now. And I think some of it is like this, where he has a size mismatch on D-Rose and takes him into the post rather than taking like a super deep two-pointer. And according to NBA.com, he has about a 27% free throw frequency off of post-ups. So basically, a little over 1/4 of the time when he gets into the post, he's taking a trip to the free throw line. I think this Laker game also had some interesting things. Here, DeRozan starts from the corner and he gets a screen from Levine, and that's a basket for him. DeRozan is averaging about 1 cut per game this season, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's way more than the rest of his career. It also feels like the Bulls have been running a few more of these types of actions for him where he can get some momentum moving off ball. And I also think he's doing a hell of a job of sometimes taking that extra step or two into the paint. You know, like on this play here, Raptors DeRozan might have taken the shot from right here, whereas Bulls DeRozan, even if he can make that shot, he might take an extra couple steps in, and he's averaging about 10 shots per game in the paint, whether it's restricted area or right within the free throw line, and his percentages on these shots have been insane this year. To be exact, he's shooting 53% on shots that are in the paint but not in the restricted area. Now, I don't want to act as if his shot chart has drastically changed from a few years ago. I mean, he is still taking a lot of the shots he took in Toronto. I just feel like there have been some subtle differences on top of still shots like this one. Now let's go to Warriors Raptors, but this is not going to be about Steph Curry. It's more so going to be Andrew Wiggins. I feel like Wiggins has maybe been a little lost in the shuffle, because I feel like it's been Steph MVP, Draymond Defensive Player of the Year, Clay coming back, team's already awesome anyway, Jordan Poole, and all the offseason additions that flow in the Warriors' read and react offense. While all this is happening, Andrew Wiggins is averaging 18 points on good efficiency and playing high minutes for the best defense in the league. Maybe we should just acknowledge him a little bit more. I feel like he fits in with whatever the Warriors need. I mean, he's been a good off-ball guy. He's had to bail them out of some possessions occasionally. I mean, all of his catch-and-shoot numbers, all that's better this year. I mean, the Warriors made the D'Lo Wiggins trade, one, because of the pick they got, but also because I think they just believed this was what they needed, a wing guy who could do a little bit of everything, and I mean, they were right. And let me just acknowledge that Dom2K pointed this out before I did. Lowry will sign a one-day contract and retire as a Raptor. It is pretty wild how Lowry, he had like a decently long NBA career, and he was just kind of like a guy until he becomes one of the best guards in the league with the Raptors and has like a crazy 7-year run that's probably going to put him in the Hall of Fame. I mean, the run is still going. He's still awesome with the Heat. The Spurs had a player-only meeting, 25-point loss at Minnesota. What's up with the Wolves having crazy wins? They beat the Grizzlies by like 40. They beat the Spurs by 25. They're actually on a 3-game win streak. Maybe the T-Wolves season, which looked promising, then was falling apart. Maybe it's now back on track. MPJ, nerve issue that could jeopardize his season. Yeah, nerve stuff is tough. It's kind of similar to the quad where it's like, you wait another 2 weeks, so it's still exactly the same. Before you know it, like 2 months have gone by. Hopefully he's alright. I think it's safe to say it was affecting him at the beginning of this season. Now, before this becomes some like, why would the Nuggets commit to this guy or whatever, because that's just what the NBA internet does. I will never fault them for picking him at number 14, and I will not fault them for giving him that contract. NBA.com power rankings. I'm going to ignore all this. You want to know who number 9 is? The Boston Celtics, baby. Jalen's back. Tatum's had like 3 great games in a row. Time Lord's back as well. The defense has been awesome. Listen, They're playing the Rockets tonight. That's a dub. It's coming, man. Now the Bucks are number 10. Listen, the Bucks have been hurt. They're going to win like 15 games in a row at some point, so they're going to leapfrog the Celtics. But whatever, just let me have this moment, okay?